Hey, good morning, everybody. It is September 18th, Thursday morning. I want to talk about what happened last night, or yesterday, and that is the indefinite suspension of the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Now, first off, let's get some things straight. I don't watch his show. I maybe, in all the years he's been on, have maybe mustered up enough bits and pieces to equal one show, but I would doubt it. So I'm not a Jimmy Kimmel person. But this isn't really about him. This is about a tyrannical government. It is about a march towards authoritarianism and the elimination of the rights of American citizens. So, what happened? Jimmy Kimmel said something that wasn't approved by a government, and the government then applied pressure to people who are looking to have business in front of the government. Nexstar, Sinclair Broadcasting, companies that want to continue to merge and create larger conglomerates at a time in which most of us know that these companies, whether it's in the media industry or whether it's in the meatpacking industry, have gotten too big and have too much control. Flat out. So they shouldn't be allowed to merge anymore. And what is happening here is then the FCC applies pressure to them, so then they call up ABC and say, we're going to pull the Jimmy Kimmel Show because we've got business in front of this government and they won't approve it unless we do this. So we're pulling the show off of all our local network shows, and ABC then has to capitulate and go ahead and let somebody go for the fact that they have free speech rights in this country, because the government doesn't want that anymore. So, this is what people had been warning about with this administration. And it's happening. And you can pretend that it's not. You can be happy it is because it's on your side. But unless what Donald Trump said about vote for me one more time and you'll never have to vote again becomes true, then you probably want to rethink going down a path that creates an authoritarian government where the president can do what he wants. So if you're okay with turning the United States into a single party autocracy like the Chinese Communist Party, then keep it up. Now, did what Jimmy Kimmel say offend people? Sure. But that's okay. That is why free speech is invented. You know, I said in my other videos that whether you agreed with Charlie Kirk or whether you didn't agree with Charlie Kirk, he had the right to say what he was saying, and he should not have been assassinated for it. Well, here you go. Jimmy Kimmel had the right to say what he said, and he should not be deplatformed by the government, because that is the government taking away free speech. So that's a First Amendment violation. So if you're okay with it, because again, it doesn't matter whether it's Jimmy Kimmel or anybody else. I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel's show. I didn't watch Stephen Colbert's show. But CBS canceled Stephen Colbert because they had business in front of this government. And this government demanded that they put in a person to control CBS's content. That person has been put in place. And that person is somebody who comes directly from the Trump administration. So we have CBS now being completely controlled by the Trump administration. We have ABC being told what they can do because of the Trump administration. This is a pattern. I'm sorry, I am so tired of this. Because there are going to be people that are going to claim this to be a horrible thing. There are people that are going to champion it. And the whole time, all this does is continue us down that path of destruction. So, if you call yourself a patriot and you're okay with this, then let's have a come to Jesus moment here. You're not a patriot. We fought the King George British because they were a tyrannical government. and you're supporting one that is just as tyrannical. So you wouldn't have been on the side of the patriots. You'd have been side of the loyalists. You'd have been siding with a king, which is what you're doing now. And I know most of you don't want to do that. I know when you think about it, almost all of you will be, yeah, this is bad. This doesn't go anywhere good. This creates more problems. Hey, we as American citizens have the right to make decisions. And in the next election, people need to remember these things, because by the time the next election comes in November of 26, we're going to be facing even more problems. But, I hope we can figure out a way to come together. And that means the leadership at the top of this country has got to actually start coming together with the people instead of trying to divide the people. All right, well, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And, it seems like it's going to be a pretty nice fall day out through the Midwest. Maybe a little warm in the low 90s. But good times. And we can do better. We can do better. We need to do better. And we should be demanding better. People who, after Charlie Kirk's death, laughed about it, that was wrong. Just plain out wrong. And people who, after his death, called for a civil war and blamed their fellow citizens for it, that was wrong. And it plays into this kind of stuff. And it eventually becomes a problem for all of us, one that doesn't end well. So, come together. Be better. Do better. And remember, they're your fellow citizens. They're not the enemy.